The story of my life remains written on these pages, but my fate has always been my own. Every deed, every choice, every person I met made me what I am. Could I have taken a different path? Could I have found a different calling? Altered the very course of history? And what price would I have to pay?
Greetings, fellow YouTubers, and welcome back to The Life and Suffering of Sir Brante. We are continuing the story of Bran Brante, a young nobleman, and we are now starting the peacetime chapter, the longest chapter in the game. Okay, we've already seen this thing previously. So, the thing about the peacetime chapter is that this is the time where your decisions start to matter seriously. Like, this is the time where you have to decide what you want to accomplish, what goals you are going to achieve, and what are you going to do with your character's life. And also, this is the chapter where you decide where you stand in this revolutionary situation that is brewing inside the empire. Whether you want to fight the system or you want to work within it, you want to topple the empire, you want to preserve the empire, you want to preserve the empire but fix some obvious flaws in it. This is where it's all decided. This is the longest chapter. This is the hardest chapter, at least second hardest, I think. I will not spoil anything, like what exact goals I will try to achieve. It will be a surprise, basically. But I think we know Bran Brante reasonably well at this point. We have lived through 3 chapters with him, his childhood, his adolescence, and his youth. And I think we can safely say that Bran Brante is a well-meaning person at heart. He wants to do good for his family. He wants to do good to his family and friends and loved ones, I guess. But he also has a selfish streak about him. Like, sometimes Bran places his own interests and pleasures above others, and he does it fairly easily. So I would not call him a good person. He is more a well-meaning person. He is not entirely good in a moral sense, but that's what makes role playing so fascinating. Like, this character you are building up can turn out a very complex figure in moral sense, in ethical sense. Nonetheless, let's start. Let's start and see what are we going to do. Homecoming. The carriage stops. The familiar gate. My bedroom window. The same one I used to climb out of at night from time to time. The well-tended garden with its imported soil, delightful greenery, and mother's beloved violet irises. The porch I used to jump off of when I was little. I am home. Okay. As soon as I come in, uh, I am crushed in Stefan's strong embrace. Oh, my brother has grown taller and more broad-shouldered. When he detaches himself from me, I notice how harsh his features have become. He looks even more like grandfather now. Oh, Stefan, so happy to see you, man. You've grown so much over the last 4 years, Bran. Just look at you. You left a lowborn boy, but you've come back Sir Brante. I'm so glad you've joined us in the noble estate. I'm glad too, brother. It's such a joy to meet you at last. Here, I have something for you. I give my brother a robbed gift, a sword I have bought for him back in Eterna. Stefan unwraps it carefully. When he sees the sword, A boyish smile appears on his stern face. It's beautiful. What a wonderful gift, brother. Maybe I should start a collection? What do you think? There's no hurry, Stefan, and now let me have a look at the prefecture's new judge. Hello, father. Father approaches me, his hand extended. I wrap my arms around him. He examines me from head to toe. What fine posture. You had excellent teachers. I'm so proud you made it, son. Thank you, father. Mother comes out of the living room, leaning on Nathan's arm. I immediately see signs of the illness I read about in the letters from home. Her back is bent, her hair is gray, a thin web of wrinkles covers her face. She can barely stand unassisted. Mother holds my shoulders and studies my face for a long time. You've been away so long, son. How you've grown. Just a short while ago I was cradling you in my arms. You look so much like your father when he was your age. Sir Bran Brante. Nathan approaches me next. He's now as tall as I am. His hair almost reaches his shoulders, and according to the picture, he does not look very good. He still has the same lost look in his eye. And here's your ne'er-do-well little brother. He hasn't changed a bit or grown an inch after all this time. He couldn't get into the seminary, so he just hangs around. Oh, Stefan, come on. Come on. No need to be mean. I mean, I've just come back. Let me embrace my little brother. Nathan awkwardly puts his arms around me. I'm so glad to see you back, Bran. Home just hasn't been the same without you. Well, I've promised I would be back. I hear a snort behind me. Everyone turns. At the top of the stairs stands Gloria, her arms across her chest. She is dressed as a man. A frock coat in culottes and a necktie with a massive pin. Oh, so she is basically a feminist now, like a medieval feminist who wants to fight against the oppression for the rights of commoners and women. I understand. The entire family waits for her to greet me. Stefan shakes his head disapprovingly. My sister descends as if forcing herself to do it. A few steps away from me, Gloria stops and bows. Welcome to your home, Sir Brante. My sister is pissed because she is afraid that now I will become just another snobbish noble. She has dark circles under her eyes as though she has been sleeping too little or crying too much. Sucks. Enough pleasantries. Come on in, the table is set. Lydia has prepared a veritable feast for you. So I can finally spend some time with another member of my family during the dinner. Well, I can find out how mother is doing, but truth be told, I'm not very close with my mother, so no, thank you. Support Gloria sounds good, but it will piss Stefan off for some reason. Ask Nathan some questions. Sounds like a good idea. And talking to Stefan will piss Gloria off, which I don't want to do because Gloria is already very cold with me. So I think Nathan deserves my support. Hey, little brother, how are you doing? I have heard that you tried to enter the seminary and become a priest. What happened? What went wrong? I worked as hard as I could, studied theology, read books, but during my examination at the seminary I started talking about something else entirely. I don't know what came over me. Mm. The priest asks me, what is the manifestation of the twin gods' love for people? And I went and said, forgiveness. What are you talking about, son? The twin gods could never forgive anyone for any sin. Otherwise, how could we fulfill their design? Everyone would just do whatever they wanted, since the gods would forgive them anyway. Sorrow fills Nathan's eyes. The priest was furious too. Out of the seminary, you ignoramus, he shouted. So I left. And now I don't know what to do with myself. Just keep silent, then. Quit prattling on about the troubles of a common folk. That's your lot for you. Stefan, why? Forget it. Stefan just wants to become the second grandfather. Instead, I would like to hear what Bran has to tell us about his life in the capital. Have you made any useful acquaintances? Our family would benefit from some good connections right now. Well, yes, Stefan, as a matter of fact, I did. I made friends with a sorcerer's prostitute who uses black unholy magic to make you orgasm harder. Well, that's not what I would say out loud, but I really would like to say it to Stefan's face. Ahem. Okay, I have to relate the 4 years I spent in Eterna, but I resume my conversation with Nathan later that night. We sit together on the back porch, away from the rest of the family. I'm glad someone cares about me, brother. You've always been there for me. It must be painful for you to see me grow up to be so useless. Well, Nathan, I don't think you're useless. You're just in a bad spot. That's okay. Sometimes people just end up in bad spots, but it will turn out right. I will make sure of it. Things are bad for me. I try to at least look after Mother. You can ask her questions, but her answers often don't make sense, and she keeps falling silent in the middle of a conversation. Her illness is consuming her. You know, if Mother passes, she may not be reborn. I dread to think what will happen to Father Bran, and to Gloria. Gloria has had a hard time of it lately, too. Stefan has treated her like dirt for the last year. I think he plans to drive her out of the house so her origins won't taint the Brante name anymore. Stefan only cares about one thing now, getting out our family ennobled by the sword. So for him, Glory is just an obstacle between him and his goal. Nathan is much wiser than he seems. He sees and understands a lot. And he understands that there's strife and discontent within our family. We spend some time in silence, gazing at the radiant stripe of the shining pillar, as it grows more and more luminous against the darkening sky. The Brante family is about to face some challenging times. So Nathan improves his opinion of me. He's sympathetic to me because I care about him and ask him questions. I'm sorry to see that he failed in his goal, but nonetheless. First day of service. Okay, my service as a judge begins today, a very important day. Okay, I get dressed early in the morning. I head to the prefecture with my father. The prefecture now occupies a massive new building of white sandstone in the very center of Anizot. A stone statue looms above it, the sword of a younger twin, the divine law that directs worldly judgment. All legal disputes in the province are to be resolved here. Okay, So we see petitioners, the commoners, merchants, and lesser nobles. Well, now, my son, here you shall begin your service to the Empire in the midst of the great struggle I told you about, the struggle between Gaius Tempest and Archduke Milanidas. If you don't mind a little advice, you will serve under Sir Elborn. Follow my example and stay close to your superior. He is a human of great worth and practically your relative. I understand, father. Okay, so we walk up to the second floor where judges work in the offices and receive petitioners. The corridors are many and narrow, filled with the smell of old papers and the sounds of muffled, mumbling voices. Father guides me down a corridor that ends with the door to Sir Elborn's office. It is time for you to stand up before the prefect. Remember the friendship between our families. Okay, we see the spacious oak-paneled office. It is not without decoration, yet its adornments are tasteful and elegant rather than garish. The flag of Magre bearing the silver tree hangs on the wall. Behind an imposing desk sits Baron Augustin Elborn, surrounded by papers. Okay, he looks up, his face comes to life. He rises and extends a hand to me. Why, young Bran Brante? What a pleasure it is to see you again. The pleasure is mine, Sir Elborn. I see your years at the capital have turned you into a stately young man. I was told you proved yourself quite capable at the college. The city of Anizot needs worthy judges who know their craft now more than ever. Allow me to welcome you into service for the good of the Empire. I deeply appreciate your warm atmosphere here, Sir Prefect. I am sure you already know the basics of our work. Serving at the prefecture, however, takes more than fighting your way through our laws, although they are quite labyrinthine and contradictory, there is no denying that. Anywhere you look in our province, you will see friction between the estates. Old noble blood, new nobles, rich commoners, poor commoners, they all have their legal disputes. And we judges work here to make sure this pot never boils over. If we are too eager to follow the traditions of old and bow to noble privilege, the common estate will grow desperate and lose all hope for freedom. But if we openly side with the commoners, the noble's ire will be quick to find us. And so, Judge Brante, I ask you to be wary and wise. Peace hangs by a thread in this province. Carefully consider every decision you make at court before rendering your verdict. But first, you need to get accustomed to your new position. You shall begin at once. The prefecture has already assigned you a number of legal proceedings to review and judge. Your office is ready and waiting for you, Sir Brante. Deeply appreciate your welcoming, Sir Elborn, and I promise I won't let you down. So the work begins. I recognize my new office by the brass plate on the door reading Sir Bran Brante, Judge. Nice, my own office. It's rather cramped on the inside, yet still reasonably comfortable. The sturdy desk has all the stationery I need. Behind the desk is a large chair of carved wood, several smaller chairs for petitioners. Heavy curtains hang over the window. Nice. Okay, so there are papers on the desk already, instructions, orders, rulings, but when I hear a sudden knock at the door. The source of a disturbance turns out to be a stout, smartly dressed nobleman. He greets me with an elegant bow. Sir Brante, congratulations on your first day of service. Allow me to introduce myself. Judge Carlo Graben, a humble servant of the law like yourself. It is my hope that we will become fast friends. And now, if I may, a word of warning to help your work progress smoothly as a token of our future friendship. I am aware that Sir Elborn is your immediate superior. As a loyal servant of the Empire, you will of course take his word as your guide. Yet there is no reason to neglect all of the other judges at the prefecture, all of whom are noblemen of great worth. Their guidance will most certainly aid you as a judge. It will be my pleasure, Sir Brante, to facilitate your introduction to the noble judges of the prefecture as soon as possible. I see glory in your future service to the Empire, yet it certainly cannot hurt to receive reassurance and support when you might need it most. If you wish to make some valuable connections, my office is right across from your own. Okay, the door closes, and I am about to decide what will I focus on today. I can prepare to deal with my first cases, carefully prepare the papers, the rulings and such. I can get acquainted with the judges, or ask father for advice. So as you can see, our occupation is represented by two opposing stats. Justice, it represents the strength of a prefecture and the power of law in the province. It determines the protection of commoners from the tyranny of nobles. As you can see here now, justice stands on 4, that is fight for justice, so there is a complicated situation in the prefecture. If we increase justice up to 7, 8 or 9, then it will represent that commoners are protected by the law. However, if we increase it up to 10, this means that commoners are so powerful that they basically seize power. And the other stat is career. The support of the authorities and the nobility on my path to the post of prefect of Magra. So basically, how close am I to replace Elborn, to take Elborn's place and rule the prefecture. As you can see here now, I'm a simple judge, but if I increase my career up to 7, 8 or 9, I will become a future prefect. I am so promising that people consider me to be a worthy successor to Elborn. These stats, these ratings are not mutually contradictory. you can build a successful career and still maintain reasonably high justice, but many options are mutually exclusive. Like you raise your career, but you drop your justice, or vice versa, you raise justice but drop career. This is a constant fight, right? Like whether you want to fight for equal law for all estates, or whether you want to work with the system and build up your career. I think for the first day of service, I'm about to secure my job position here. Like, I want to know what kind of people work here and how I must conduct myself here. How am I supposed to conduct myself here? Okay, so I dedicate some time to the cases and necessary paperwork. When I walk to the office across from mine, and Judge Fograben greets me warmly. Sir Brante, how splendid of you to stop by! Come, let us pay a few visits to the most distinguished of your new colleagues. I am sure they will be delighted to make the acquaintance of such a promising young man. Something tells me that Sir Fograben is corrupt as hell. Like he seems very corrupt, like he reeks of corruption. Okay, Fograben leads me through the corridors of the prefecture. He starts mentioning other judges by name and origin, age and experience, power and influence. So I very soon learn and understand how the prefecture works, how things are done here. Okay, hours pass in dignified greetings, bowing, pats on the shoulder, and courteous conversation. This is interesting. One after another, the judges make it quite clear to me that when a noble and a commoner clash in the courtroom, the court is to side with the noble every time, no matter how affluent the commoner may be. Only when both parties hail from the common estate may a judge fully rely upon the rule of law. So this is the main problem. We still don't have a code of laws obligatory to all estates. Cornelius Tempest, the Supreme Chancellor of the Empire, wanted to write such a code, but it was scrapped. And now judges rule out in favor of nobles. Like commoners are not supposed to win cases against nobles. I understand. Well, my first day is over. Just look at how much you've accomplished in just one day, Brante. So many experienced judges, and you've made a splendid impression on all of them. Your future is all but assured now, I guarantee it. But remember, courtiers' words are not the only thing that matters at the prefecture. Your decisions will not go unnoticed. Bran, my friend, I greatly hope your youthful exuberance will not result in any gaffes that may hinder our mutual effort at maintaining order in our province. See what I mean? See what I mean? Corrupt as hell. Act with wisdom in mind, and especially when the wisdom of your colleagues is always within reach. Okay, so I've made many useful acquaintances today, and my career will surely prosper. However, there's a burden of expectation upon me. They want me to fall in line and side with noble privilege, without a second thought. Basically, trample the rule of law and rights of commoners. However, the conflict between the estates is growing tenser by the day. It will only become harder to uphold the law in the future. Okay, so we drop justice, but we didn't actually do anything unjust ourselves, and our career prospers. Nice. We started our service as a judge, which is great. Great. A reception at the Brante residence. Oh, a party. That's nice. Okay, I come back home after a short stroll through the city. Stefan invites me to have a talk in Father's office. When I enter the room, Father has a heap of letters in front of him and is signing them one after another. Son, Stefan and I must discuss an important matter with you. While you were in the capital, our family formally petitioned the overseer to grant us the nobility of the sword. We have 3 generations of noble blood already. That means grandfather, father, and Stefan and myself. We have the right to make our nobility hereditary. Your grandfather took the first steps toward the nobility of the sword as soon as Stefan was born, and now we are on the brink of becoming the El Brantes. If Overseer Gaius Tempest and the nobles of the province deem us worthy, we will receive a hereditary title. All nobles of the Brante family will remain noble forever, as will their descendants. So, This basically means that if we get this nobility of the sword, then no Brante in the future will be born into a common lot. No Brante in the future will be born as I and Nathan and Gloria did. All future Brantes will be born nobles and receive the sacrament of fighting and pleasure seeking and pursuing the arts. Father and I do our utmost to maintain the family's position, but our goal can be reached only if our reputation remains unblemished in the eyes of high society. The nobility is watching our every step. Father lays a hand on my shoulder. Now this is your cause too. The future of our family depends on it. We need an estimable reputation and wealth. Everyone bearing the name of Branta affects it. Remember that with every action you take, Bran. What this actually means is that by the end of the chapter, our family can become ennobled by the sword. As you can see here, this is a possible family ending for this chapter. But moreover, we can become favored by the overseer. This is basically a better version of the previous achievement. The Brante family becomes a hereditary dynasty of the sword, earning the favor of overseer Gaius Tempest and the place at court. So not only do we become nobles of a sword, we also become close associates with Gaius Tempest. So, in Bran's opinion, this is a very worthy goal to pursue. First of all, because he made a promise back when he joined the Blood Tide, he made a promise to his grandfather to honor his wish to ennoble our family. And also because Bran knows from his own experience how harsh it is to be born into a common lot. He does not want his descendants, or Stefan's descendants, or our descendants, to suffer like he suffered, like Nathan suffered. So to elevate our family to such a high position is a worthy goal, and Bran will keep it in mind. You will have to appear before Anisot High Society. We are going to host a reception for the nobility at our home soon. You must uphold the honor of our family brother. You will relate the news from Eterna to our guests and present yourself in a favorable light. So, the entire family spends a full week preparing for a majestic reception. The house is flooded with decorations and new tableware. The licks is cooking in the kitchen round the clock. The napkins now bear an embroidered oak branch in chains, the Brante family crest. This one, I guess. Okay, Gloria is the only one to neglect the common cause. Come on, why? Were it up to me, I wouldn't be seen at this hypocritical gathering, but I don't want to let Sir Robert down. He's the only reason I plan to stay for the event. Oh, why Stefan and Gloria are both so petulant. They act like fucking teenagers. Okay, the evening of the reception has come. Dignified conversation and the clinking of glasses fill the house. Among my guests are many high-born, powerful people. Okay, my father and Stefan dance from guest to guest, making sure no one is overlooked. Young Bran, how splendid to see you. So, what was your time in the capital like? Oh, Thorborn, nice to meet you here. I exchange pleasantries with Sir Prefect. Gloria and Mother spent the evening on a city by the wall without drawing any attention. Neither my father nor my elder brother introduced them to the noble guests. This is harsh, but I understand why is it so. They are commoners. This is a reception for noble guests, so it might be unwise to draw noble attention to mother and sister. Okay, one of the guests, a young nobleman of a sort named Jose El Pelletier. Oh, is this the guy we have fought back in the tournament? Our last opponent? Well, he keeps staring at Gloria in fascination. Uh-huh. Lady Gloria, you are the true gem of the evening. You look so marvelously daring. I haven't seen your like even in the capital. I hear her hurried whisper. Bran, please talk to me. This Sir El Pelletier keeps following me. I feel uneasy. What does he want from me? I'm just a lowly commoner. Come with me to our side of the room, although I'll probably still stand out among all these refined nobles. Hey, sis, it's fine. He has probably just fallen for your extravagant dress, or like maybe he thinks you're pretty. Do you know you're pretty? Because you are pretty. Look, it's Durante the painter. I wonder what's brought him so far from the capital. It would be fabulous if he could paint our family portrait. We are one big happy family after all. Okay, it's time to choose how I will spend the evening. I can, in fact, share the news from the capital and mildly increase our reputation. I can present my mother and sister, which will increase our unity, but drop our reputation. I understand. Like nobles will not understand such a scandalous gesture, like in your face. Okay, I can pay money. I can pay the renowned painter Durante to paint a portrait of a Brante family. That will increase both our unity and reputation, in fact. Interesting. But I will have to spend a point of our wealth. Or, seeing as I have emerged victorious in the tournament. Oh, oh, I think this is the best option here because it gives us the huge boost in reputation. Stefan will like us, and basically, this is a unique option for a nobleman because no other life path can achieve this. And I have put some work into achieving this, and so I think Bran wants to have a good time and brag about his military victories. Yeah. Stefan leads me to the most prestigious place by the table where the most eminent of the guests are seated. May I present to you my younger brother, Bran Brante. He is just returned from the capital where he was ennobled by the mantle. Bran, why don't you entertain our guests with some stories from Eterna? Sure. I describe recent noteworthy events in the capital, the celebration of the heir's coming of age, the attempt by Gaius Tempest to enshrine in law the rights of nobles of the mantle. I make an effort to emphasize how much I support this decision and how much I support Gaius Tempest in his fight for rights of common folk and lesser nobles. Patriarch Luke's sermon, and then I mentioned the big tournament. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I must say it was something quite intense. Intense battles, the most skilled fighters in the Empire, an elite audience, including, I must say, the charming daughter of our own Archduke. Octavia Milanides was there, indeed. The nobles intrigued urged me to reveal the winner. I show them the ribbon that was tied around my sword by none other than Octavia. The crowd murmurs approvingly. With a wry smile, Jose El Pelletier takes a step forward. Yeah, he was my adversary in the last duel, that's him. Oh, Sir Jose, what a pleasure to meet you here, my fellow student, my brother by studies. El Pelletier returned from the capital a short time before my arrival and has an important position at the city hall. Okay, the young nobles observe me with envy. The older guests reminisce about the duels of bygone days, yeah, and predict a brilliant future for me. Stefan is radiant. I see you haven't wasted your time in the capital. I will ensure that you become famous all over Anizot, you and our family. Stefan loves us to hell and back. He loves us more than anything in the world. Our reputation skyrockets to the brink of modest position. We are one step away from being renowned among nobles. Nice. Nice. A rock and a hard place. What? Okay, the Brante home has been uneasy for several months now. With father traveling all over the province for his duties, the animosity between Stefan and Gloria has grown into a full-blown feud. My elder brother tries to use his position as heir to keep his sister in check and make her behave in accordance with her estate. Gloria repudiates his authority. The fights rock the house on a daily basis. Not good. Okay, so Father gathers Stefan, Gloria, Nathan, and me in his office. His somber look portends a difficult conversation. Children, for a long time now, our family has been striving to become nobles of a sort. Every noble member of a Brante family will gain a hereditary title. This is your grandfather's dying wish. Gloria signs loudly. Then why am I here, Sir Robert? She is right, this is a Brante matter. Wait until I finish, Stefan. I am still the head of this household. If you are truly so concerned about honor, show your father some respect. What he said. It can't be helped. Not all of us are noble. But now we must be united as never before. We must work together to protect the reputation and wealth of this family. But you, Stefan, perpetually humiliate Gloria. Father, all I'm trying to do is put her in her place. You know perfectly well the consequences of any attention Gloria might attract. How every step is being observed. The nobles will make pariahs of our family for all eternity if they remember Gloria's filthy origins and your reckless marriage to Lydia. I don't like how Stefan is acting right here. Like, he not only does he show disrespect for his half sister, he also shows disrespect for his father, for his elder. And as a nobleman, he shouldn't do so. Father turns red in the face but remains composed. That is so. Our grandfather did everything in his power to remedy your mistakes. Please, father, don't repeat them. Gloria speaks up. I'm just trying to live, Sir Robert, but Stefan wants to lock me in a cage so nobody will ever lay eyes on me. That's not it at all. You are low-born, but you don't live by your lot. You do whatever takes your fancy. You are constantly grumbling about the order of things. Did you know, father, that she defies all prohibitions by continuing to write poetry? Bran silently thinks, like, what harm can come of it? Like, she writes poetry, so what? Like, it's our house. We are family. We should be equal. I understand why in front of our nobles we don't introduce our mother and sister at the receptions, but this is our home. Things should be different here. We shouldn't be so harsh on each other, man. As far as you're concerned, anyone who contradicts you is an insurgent. When will you grasp the idea that you may not argue with a nobleman? I am the heir of this family and my word is your law. Purple with rage, father slams his fist on the table. Oh shit. Everyone falls silent. Frightened Nathan shrinks into a corner. Hold your tongues, both of you. Let Bran speak. He has witnessed your quarrels. He should know best which of you is in the right. Okay, what can we do? We can side with Stefan and say that Gloria must stop bringing shame to our family by defying her lot. I don't agree with this option because I think Stefan behaves irrationally cruel to Gloria. He's unreasonably harsh on her. He should, if he considers himself the heir, he should rule over us more wisely and cautiously. However, I don't really want to defend Gloria either. First, because it will drop our reputation, and I don't want that. And secondly, because, well, Gloria is rebellious. She really acts like a petulant teenager. Like, I see she argues just to piss Stefan off. I understand why she doesn't like him, but it's still an immature behavior. So what we can't do? Oh, we can't send Gloria to Valona because we are not close enough with Gloria, and we are not good enough at manipulation. We can't persuade Gloria to go on a trip somewhere far away from Stefan. We can, however, appeal to Nathan using theology. Interesting. It will increase our unity, but piss both Gloria and Stefan off. Well, seeing as they are both clearly wrong, and Nathan just stands there completely lost, nobody pays him any attention, I think that's what I will do. Nathan is wiser than he seems. To everyone's surprise, I turn to Nathan. He meets my look with a quizzical gaze from under his unruly hair. Hey, little brother, you have read the sacred scriptures, have you not? According to the holy teachings of Prophet Isatius, how should a brother and sister act? Please tell us. Nathan is embarrassed and replies reluctantly. Gloria, she refuses to accept her lot and live like a commoner. I understand her, but the gods will neither understand nor forgive her. His face lights up and his voice is suddenly strong. You, Stefan, don't understand your lot completely either. Ruling does not mean being a tyrant. Ruling entails taking care of those beneath one's station. What? Are you trying to teach me how to live by my noble lot, you dimwit? He is not a dimwit, Stefan. He is right. His words are true. Let us listen to him. The prophet Isatius himself interprets the noble lot as taking care of the other estates. So we, Stefan, you and me and Father, we should take care of those beneath our station, of Mother and Gloria and Nathan. If you use your power to humiliate people who displease you, if you use your power to basically bully others into submission, you are not honoring your lot, you are violating it. Well, weren't you the one who spoke to me about the nobleman's duty to protect his family? Remember when we were searching for Gloria in the far corners of Anisot all those years ago? You taught me first things I knew about nobleman's lot. And now, look at you. Stefan frowns in displeasure, but has no response. Gloria, look. I understand that the lowborn lot is not easy. Believe me, I know it. I know it from my own experience. However, you can't just throw pointless escapades, you can't just throw pointless hissy fits just because you and tantrums, just because you don't like your lot. Even if life is sometimes unfair to you, and believe me, I know how unfair life can be, you ought to bear it with patience and humility, like we did back when we served noble guests at the dinner. Remember when I stood up with you? My sister just purses her lips in response. We all have to live by our lots. No mistakes are allowed. Isn't that right, Bran? What is he trying to say? His eyes are filled with a strange sorrow. I don't understand him. Enough! I can handle my lot myself. Stefan marches swiftly out of the office. Gloria follows him to the door. I've heard it over and over again since I was a child. Suffering patience, suffering patience. So this is how I will live if it so pleases the noble Brantes. Oh my god! Oh, Gloria and Stefan. They're so likable and relatable, yet they're so boneheaded sometimes. Okay, after the conversation, they stop fighting for a while. Our home is peaceful at last, or is this just the calm before the storm? I don't know, man. But Nathan likes us better because we were. I think we were the first men in many years because to listen to him, to ask him what he thinks of anything, basically. Okay, nice. We have a high unity and a powerful theology. We learned out theology well back in the capital. Well, in dispute. Interesting. Okay, I'm back at the office. And I think I'm about to settle my first case, my first dispute. Yeah, indeed. Okay, let's go through the facts and circumstances of the case. Seeking some desperately needed financial gain, a noble from the less than wealthy El Avila family, a noble of a sort, as I guess, rented out a sizable portion of his estate to a well-off commoner by the name of Basil Jung. All the rent payments are in order, and there is plenty of time left before the lease is set to expire. But the commoner built a large dye works on the estate, and then El Avila suddenly filed a case with the prefecture to evict him. The rental agreement specifically states that the commoner Jung has the right to construct any building on the land. The noble landowner, however, thinks he has the final say on any construction since the land belongs to him. So, a basic case of the written law against noble tradition. Like, according to tradition, a noble is a sovereign of his land. But according to the written law, if a contract is signed, then nothing can be done about it. Okay, Basil Jung has refused to vacate the rented land since the term of the agreement has not expired. Okay, both parties are to appear before me to hear my decision. Sir Elevilla enters first. He is an aged noble who dresses far too colorfully for his years. The next to enter is Basil Jung, a heavy-set man with a thick beard, clothed in an old jacket and clutching a hat. He bows to me. Oh, Basil, no need to bow. Like I'm still a servant. It's okay. So, Your Honor, I demand you drive Commoner Jung from my land. His dieworks is a noisy, nasty, ugly building and I refuse to have it on my property. My family already had to endure the warehouses and the filthy workers right by our own estate, but this is simply beyond the pale. Either the court says the dieworks must be demolished, or I, Gustav L. Avila, will do it myself. Come to think of it, the dieworks is a huge building to build. It takes a long time to build. Why didn't Ella Villa object to its construction until now? This is very strange. Okay, Mr. Young, please make your case. Your Honor, it cost me all my money to build the dieworks. The contract says it's clear. I got the right to build anything on the land during my rental period. And Sir Avila didn't say a word at first. Yeah, that's what I thought. But now he up and demands we demolish it. My family will be ruined. That's not gonna happen, I say. Sir Elavilla screams at him in return, outraged by what he calls his cunning trickery. Like, what cunning trickery? Writing a comprehensible contract that you signed? Okay, Basil Jung disagrees again and again, his pudgy finger pointing at the clause in the agreement. This is my first case ever. It is time to deliver my verdict. So we can side with one party or the other. We can protect Jung's rights or comply with Elavilla's demand. Naturally, protecting the commoner's rights will improve justice but worsen our career, and vice versa. Complying with the noble will improve our career, and also it actually influences the stats of our province. Like, if we side with Jung, wealth of Magra will increase because like, he's a hard-working man, he makes a good business, but the order will decrease. The locked options, I guess, is the better version of two previous options. Because if we terminate the legal agreement, we propose a law that would grant noble landowners the right to terminate their rental agreements in court at any time. It sounds good on paper because it will provide judges with quick solution to settle any such disputes in the future, but it's very bad for the economy, I think, because then commoners will have no guarantee. Like, how can you build anything, anywhere, any business, any enterprise, if all good land is owned by nobles of a sort, and they have a right to terminate any agreement and demolish any enterprise however they please? Not very good. Besides, like Jung said, his family will be ruined, and that's bad. I don't want to ruin poor commoners' lives. We can also ask Jung for a bribe. We rule in his favor. We still improve justice and improve the wealth of Magra, worsen order, worsen our career. However, we also increase our family's wealth. So we do uphold the law, but not for free. Well, this choice is pretty easy for Bran Brante. Like I said, he is a well-meaning but selfish person. So, look, Sir Elevilla, I humbly ask you to wait in the hall. Yeah. The noble is stubborn, but I'm more stubborn. So now, alone with Basil Jung, I offer him an offer. An offer he can refuse, but he better not. Look, Basil, may I call you Basil? Look, this case is far from cut and dry. I understand that the law as written is on your side. However, the centuries of noble traditions and the centuries of noble privileges are against you. Nobles are owners of the land, after all, and if a noble doesn't want something on his land, he has the power to make it go away. So, look, I understand your plight. I'm a former commoner myself. I don't want you to suffer injustice. I don't want your family to starve. I don't want to ruin your business. But I'm afraid I need something to compensate for my efforts. Like, look, I'm about to face a shitstorm when I rule in your favor. Like, my colleagues and this Elaville guy, he's gonna be super pissed. Do you know of something that can ease my pain, basically? Ease my burden? Jung groans as he looks me over, adding up all the expenses. But soon his gruff bass reaches my ears. I never thought the law would protect me here in the first place. Guess there is no other way for me. I gotta accept this expense to avoid utter ruin. So, we have a deal then. Sir Olavilla, please come back. Look, as the rental agreement clearly states, Basil Jung has the right to use the aforementioned lands belonging to the Elaville family until the year 1150 and construct any buildings on the aforementioned lands. Such is the law. Basil Jung's use of the land is not in violation of the agreement, and therefore he must not be evicted, and the die works will remain. Any attempt to drive him off or demolish the building will constitute a breach of law. How dare you? This is my own land, and I can do whatever I want with it. It is my right. I can rent it out, and I can take it back just the same. And you puny little papers mean nothing to me. If you refuse to resolve this peacefully, Your Honor, why I will just put the damn fireworks to the torch. I am deeply sorry to inform you, Sir Elaville, that if Jung's property should come to harm through your actions, you will provide a recompense for all damages and pay a fine to the Emperor. Do not forget, Sir Elaville, that however well off and however old your family bloodline might be, the law of the empire is the emperor's rule, to which we all must abide. Nobles and commoners alike must obey the law in equal measure. The nobleman has no chance. His face pale with rage, Sir Elavilla spits out a goodbye and walks away. That was brave of you, Sir Brante, stopping him like that. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Basil. Anything for my fellow men. Guess coin means justice nowadays. I get it. We have a deal then. I'll send you a portion of the income from the die works next year. It's a pleasure doing business with you, Basil Jung. May your business prosper. Okay, so the other judges soon learn of my verdict. With my very first case, I have caused quite a stir at the prefecture. Most judges would not have even deigned to hear the commoner's statement. Yet I defied noble privilege and enforced a lawful agreement against the nobleman. An ill omen for the other nobles, but a sizable source of profit for my own family. So we improve wealth of Magra. As a benevolent judge we are. We balance our career and justice. And we improve our family wealth. We are one step away from becoming an affluent. Nice. It is good to be a corrupt judge from time to time, especially if it helps the little guy. I like helping the little guy if this little guy can help this little guy. Okay, the Archduke and the Overseer. Okay, the two powerful lords have been struggling for power in Magra for over 2 years now. The new overseer of the province, Gaius Tempest, cannot seem to rein in the obstinate spirit of Archduke Tarquinius Milandes. Okay, most of the Magran gentry who swore allegiance to Archduke generations ago remain loyal to him even now. Okay, Gaius Tempest has publicly demanded that the Archduke recognize the Overseer's rule as legitimate. I am the voice and the will of Emperor Uther II in the province of Magra, all lands, deeds, and titles notwithstanding. Archduke Milandes must obey his sovereign's will and heed his decree. I hereby extend to the Archduke an offer of peace. Should the Archduke cease his insubordination, his lands, deeds, and titles shall remain his own. Ooh, a dangerous move. The Archduke's response to the overseer was openly defiant. Since the days of yore, the land of Magra has belonged to the Milanides dynasty. We are part of the empire, and we are the emperor's loyal servants. However, our dynasty will not stand for such intrusion upon our lawful rights and privileges. Never before has an archduke been stripped of his right to represent the emperor's rule in his own province. So do not forget, Sir Overseer, that the highest noble families of Magra have sworn fealty to me alone. Okay, the bad blood between the two Archnians has festered for too long, and the common people have begun to pay the price for their strife. Stripped of overseer's tax privileges, the Archduke Milanides has decided to impose his own levy upon the citizens and villagers of Magra. The commoners are now forced to pay taxes twice, first to the overseer and then to the Archduke. Dick move. A very petty move from Milanides. Like, I understand that he's trying to reaffirm his influence, but he's doing it at common people's expense. Not cool. Not cool. This double burden is too much for the common people of Magra to bear. Many have refused the second tax outright as a lawless measure, but the Imperial Legion, led by young Dorius Otton, is ruthless. Eagerly and without mercy, the Legion soldiers collect the Archduke's due in cities and villages alike. Not good. Order drops, wealth drops. It's good. It's a good thing that we helped wealth of Magra to improve previously. A gift for the family. Okay, this last year has been an ordeal for us. The pains taken to be ennobled by the sword, the close attention of the city aristocracy, the squabbles between Stefan and Gloria. Okay, our father has gathered the entire family around the table in the backyard. Interesting. The sun has almost set. There is a soft breeze. In the middle of the table, I see an open gilded box. It is full of jewels. Archduke Milanides himself has bestowed this gift upon us. It is a surprise indeed. I thought you all had a right to know. Father unfolds a letter lying beside the box. Sir Robert Brante, I bestow this precious box upon you and your family as a symbol of the care with which I treat the people of my province. Pray accept this gift. And remember with whom the loyalty of the true nobles of Magra lies. Archduke of Magra, Tarquinius of Milanides. Oh, these jewels are beautiful indeed. It's worth quite a fortune. But the Archduke is fully aware that I am on the side of Prefect Elborn and Overseer Gaius Tempest. Could he really expect our loyalty to be bought so brazenly? On the other hand, the Archduke is not demanding anything of us, and our family has borne a lot of expenses recently. Father, no one is forcing you to side with Milanides. Who are we in comparison to the Archduke anyway? Yeah, we are nobody. We are lowly nobles of the mantle at best. We must not anger him by refusing his gift. The jewels are certainly welcome. They are worthy of being shared with the best families of Anizot. They will pave our way to the nobility of the sword. Our shakes her head glumly. Oh, Robert, I have a feeling this gift bodes ill. It may be an impertinence on my part, but I do not want our family to be indebted to the Archduke. Certainly not. Accepting gifts from Milanides? He is infamous for oppressing the commoners and robbing villages blind with his taxes. This isn't your decision, Gloria. It is a matter of our family's honor and reputation. Please don't start bickering again. Let Bran say what he thinks we should do with this gift. Okay, let's see. We can give the jewels to prominent nobles as gifts because we have good enough diplomacy and good enough relations with Stefan. Me and Stefan will give the jewels away as gifts for the local nobility to gain their favor. It will once again skyrocket our reputation. We can decline the gift outright, convince Favor to send the precious box back to the Archduke. It will immensely improve our unity and worsen our relations with Archduke Milan, as he will be pissed, of course. Or we can sell the jewels, improve our wealth, but lower our unity because this is the option nobody wants. Like Stefan wants to give the jewels to nobles, Gloria and Mother wants to decline the gifts. Nobody wants us to sell the jewel. Okay. I understand that it is a dangerous gift, and it might be safer to decline it. But I think whatever may come in the future, right now it is important to show to other nobles that Brante household, the Brante family, are known for their valor and hospitality. We hosted a beautiful reception, and now we are going to share these jewels with other nobles. I think that's the best thing to do. Actually, I agree with Stefan. I don't think a gift from the Archduke is not to be refused. At least, well, if we are to become ennobled by the sword, then shouldn't we give at least a token of respect to the highest overlord of our province? I think that me and Stefan should determine when, how, and to whom these gifts will be given. I am inclined towards the same solution. Let it be so. I will send a note to the Archduke expressing our humblest gratitude, but I will point out that I don't mean to change sides. I still serve my prefect and my overseer. I think that's the best thing to handle with Favor. Be careful, Favor. The Melendez house is not to be trifled with, but the Archduke will have nothing to reproach you with. Bran and I will put the jewels to good use. Okay, we spent the next couple of weeks arranging meetings and attending receptions and feasts. I discover I am on par with my brother in my understanding of the nobility of Anizot, including their relations and their quirks. The generous gifts and the refined manners my brother and I display before the aristocrats allow my family to rise in their esteem. We are known as a hospitable, generous, and all-around pleasant family. Okay, we do not have a single coin tucked away in the family treasury, but still we have good enough wealth. And more importantly, with just 2 steps taken, we brought our reputation up to 8, renowned among nobles. Actually, this is the number we need to get ennobled by the sword or favored by the overseer. We need reputation at 8 or higher. Nice. Very good. Very good. The power of the law. Okay, I have just completed my first year of service at the prefecture. Several days after my second year begins, there is a knock at the door. Cyril Bourne's secretary says that the prefect has an important matter to discuss with me in his office. Okay. Augustin Bourne looks very aged, but he greets me with his usual characteristic warmth. Okay, I take a seat in the comfortable chair across from him. Sir Brante, good to see you. I hope the judge's trade is coming easily to you now. I must admit I've been watching your first cases closely. You have already had to resolve a rather difficult land dispute between a commoner and a noble. We will see even more litigation of this kind in our province in the future. Now it's time for you to answer an important question. In this great dispute between the two estates, where will you stand as a judge? Take a look around you. Life in the Empire, as we know, it is changing. It is our duty as nobles and judges to make peace between all the estates on the basis of the law. However, the prefecture faces a great hindrance in its pursuit of this goal. Many nobles are still determined to abide only by the traditions of old, especially the Arknians. For those nobles, the only law above them is the Court of Honor, where noble ranks and duels decide everything. They reject the jurisdiction of the prefecture and outright defy the new laws and regulations of the empire. So, something must be addressed here. The Court of Honor is a special court for nobles, nobles of a sort, and Archnians especially, where indeed any dispute is decided in an honorable duel to true death. Any death in such a duel is as permanent as an execution by the sentence. Okay, so I think here is that the Court of Honor has a mystical component to it, like you remember the Blood Tide, I guess, and basically any duel in such a court is not only a battle of swordsmanship, but also a battle of bloodlines, like whose bloodline is more honorable, more venerable, and who has closer ties with his ancestors. It is an interesting concept, but of course, it can only settle disputes between nobles. Like the Court of Honor is not for commoners or priests. What Elborn is saying is that it is quite difficult to make the nobles obey the law when they have their own court with duels and all. Okay. This is to say nothing of what happens when an Archnian has a dispute with a human commoner. Some Archnians would rather cut a human down then and there than waste time on what they see as pointless litigation. Even though the law says that all the Emperor's subjects has the right to a fair and just trial. One of the most flagrant violators of the law is Dorius Otton, the commander of our province's military. You've encountered him before, haven't you? That Archnian nobleman is a notorious duelist. Anyone who crosses his path risks insulting his honor. His sword has ended the lives of many human nobles, not to mention all the commoners who have been unlucky enough to run afoul of him that he was bored. Surely you realize, Brante, that we are the only ones who can protect those people. The low-born lot forbids a commoner to arm himself, and even those who would rather defy the lot have no chance against Dorius Otton, one of the most skilled Archnian sword masters. Otton cannot be allowed to commit murder with impunity. We have to stop him and all the others who act as he does. Imperial law must prevail over the barbarous tradition. Barbarous. But as of now, I have no authority to put Otton on trial. Our province still abides by the old traditions, and humans are powerless against the dynastic power of the Archnian aristocracy. Putting an Archnian on trial for his crimes would be unthinkable at best. We have to work gradually to change this, Brante. I need you as an ally. What I have to do is strengthen the power of imperial law in Magra so that eventually everyone will respect the law, from humble beggars to high-born Archnians. We must show everyone that the law is not a noble instrument of oppression against the common folk. Like the divine law, imperial law must stand above all, with no regard for birth, rank, or title. This is why I have decided to address you today, Bran Brante. Side with the law. Side with your father and myself. Side with justice in every case always, no matter who stands trial before you, be they lowly commoner or noble elite. With enough precedents, we will put an end to highborn tyranny and ensure that the law is respected throughout the province. But I must warn you, even here at the prefecture I am not all-powerful. Many judges oppose my point of view, not openly, at least not yet. But I am certain they will work against us in the shadow. Now, Brante, what is your answer? Are you ready to side with me and change our province for the better? Are you prepared to support me against the high-handed gentry and defend the common folk from the likes of Dorius Otton? So, if we promise to side with the prefect and support his gambit, basically to establish the rule of law over all estates, even Archnians, Augustine Elborn will like us better, and we will make the promise to him. Or we can reject his offer, say that we cannot accept it, and it will replenish our willpower, but worsen our relations with Elborn. So, I will try. Okay. Look, sir, I will do my best to bring nobles and Archnians under the rule of imperial law. I think it's a noble cause to try to establish justice for all. I realize the risks, and I'm not sure I will succeed in any case, in any dispute, but I am willing to face these risks for the future of the Empire and its subjects. I seal the promise with a handshake. I never doubted you, Brante. With your potential and your full zeal, nothing will stop us. And now a toast to the triumph of law in Magra. Okay, the prefect takes a sip and puts the glass down to instruct me further. Remember to be cautious. Between the powerful nobles and many other judges at the prefecture, there will be no shortage of enemies on this path. There will be times when I will be unable to help you. My own position is too unstable as it is. So please, do not draw too much of the air. Letting the wrath reach you is the last thing I want. Okay, this becomes even more complicated. So you want me to always side with the law, but you don't want me to piss off nobles, but I will piss off nobles. Elborn, what the fuck do you want? Okay. We mustn't be hasty. If we move too fast and enforce the law against the nobles too soon, they might take up their swords as they have before. We have to prevent an uprising and avert bloodshed. At all times be just, but also wise and alert. I'm glad to see you on the side of justice. I'm counting on you, and you can count on me in return, Bran Brante. May luck be with you in service to the Empire. Okay, the good thing is Elborn likes us very much now. We made a promise to him to support him in his struggle against noble tyranny. I think I've just made a huge mistake because I think this plan is very risky and my hands are already full with all this family drama, but his cause sounds like a worthy cause, fuck, I don't know if I did the right thing, guys. I really don't. Maybe I just fucked up and Bran Brante is not that much of a revolutionary. He doesn't want to topple the empire or change the existing order drastically. He just wants to improve things whenever he can, like help others whenever he can. Like, I don't want to if I made the right decision, but nonetheless, the decision is made. Deep in thought, I sit at the desk once again. What fate awaits me in service to this cause? The fuck I know. Okay, a promise to Elborn. I gave him a promise to support him. Nice. An old friend. Oh, night is falling over Anisot. The stifling heat gives way to an eagerly anticipated freshness. After a day at work, I stroll home at a leisurely pace. Oh, and as if my legs are acting of their own accord, they are bringing me to the place of my childhood play, the remnants of a wooden fort. Oh, the wooden fort we have built with Thomas back then. So much has changed since the days when I used to play here. At first I failed to notice that I am not alone here. A tall figure in the uniform of a Legion officer approaches me. It is Thomas. Now that's a surprise. Hi, Brante. Fancy running into you the moment I'm back in town. My childhood friend puts his arms around me. Our battalion got transferred here recently. We're under the command of a Magra Legion now. I'm keeping the peace and maintaining order in my very own province. Well, why don't we catch up? Let me buy you dinner. We'll have a little chat, remember the old days? He cuts himself short. He looks much older. His face has become sharper and rougher. His eyes are filled with exhaustion. Oh, I should warn you though, Bran. I ain't the best company nowadays. I've managed to get myself some powerful enemies already. I'm afraid who could taint your good name. So if you'd rather not be seen with me, well, I understand. I can't even walk away because, nobleman and bound by friendship, but walk away from my friend to whom I swore an eternal friendship? Fuck no. I don't care if it drops a point of reputation, like blah 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 blah. Hey, Thomas. I am so glad to meet you here. Like, do you really think I would bump you like that? No! So you haven't forgotten your old friend, Brante. That's the way it ought to be. Well, come on, man. We go to a tavern, reminiscing about our childhood antics on these very streets along the way. Okay, we order a bottle of good wine and some food. Nice. I tell him about my latest cases, about my first years, about a risky promise I made to Elborn, I guess. Share family news, our quest to become nobles of a sort. Thomas nods with concern. Sounds like you've had some tough times. Your family has always been different. Mine, on the other hand, is the same as it ever was. My pa is always in his workshop and my ma's always doing chores. But look at me, I came home a service-class nobleman. Although it doesn't bring me much joy anymore. Hey, come on! You were so eager to become a noble, what's wrong? He quickly glances around the room and lowers his voice. Well, I'm a captain in the Magran Legion now, and who is our commander? His Excellency Dorus Soton. That's right, I serve under the very same Arcanian whose toes I stepped on back in Eterna. Oh, this ball where I abandoned Thomas to dance with Octavia. And you better believe he remembers me. I'm afraid things are gonna end real bad. But hey, I'll figure it out somehow. Don't trouble yourself over it. Apart from that, well, it's the usual service. We impose order in uppity towns and villages, protect the province, that sort of thing. And we run drills all day long, obviously. I have thought about starting a family, Bran. My ma keeps telling me to find a nice girl to marry. She says it's high time I got hitched. Well, I agree. You are a fancy young man, you are very handsome, I must say, so I think you should find a nice girl to marry. Oh, finally, we get up from the table. On our way out, I catch a glimpse of a nondescript figure following us to the door. I keep glancing over my shoulder, but the shadow that was following us has disappeared. Weird. Alright. We stopped for a while on our street, in the summer darkness between my family home and his family home. Bye, Brante. I hardly ever come to Anisot these days. Our battalion is always on the march all over the province, but twins willing, we'll see each other again real soon. I hope so, Thomas. And safeguard your every life. Be careful. Okay, we improve our relations with Thomas because we supported him in his time of need. And we lost a bit of reputation, but nothing too bad. And whoa, look at that willpower. Nice. The newspaper case. So, like was said before, our second year at the prefecture is at hand. Resolving a litigation of any importance requires striking a balance between the code of law, high society's opinion, and the whims of the provincial powers that be. Okay, trampled by the nobles, the commoners seek help, and so they turn to the law. They turn to me. Okay, carriage takes me through the silver district of Anisot. It is early morning, and I have just received a letter bearing the seal of the city hall. Remy Elverman, the magistrate of Magra himself, wishes to see me at once. The magistrate, interesting. Okay, this is no doubt about my newest case regarding the Quorum Gazette. So, the Lesser Quorum governs the volume and distribution of taxes in Magra. Commoners of considerable wealth were granted representation in the quorum on par with the nobility, thus forming the lesser quorum. So we have the quorum, the noble quorum, and we have the lesser quorum with wealthy commoners. Okay. So the representatives of the lowly estate have founded a newspaper of their own. This Quorum Gazette fervently argues for commoners' rights in provincial governance. The man behind the newspaper is Meyer Agment, a well-off industrialist and owner of several silver mines. It was his article and his demands that brought about this litigation. Okay, what is it about, this article? Let's see. We demand that Sir Overseer Gaius Tempest cease his habitual disregard for our meetings. From our Emperor Uther II, we received the lawful right to assemble and sit in the lesser quorum, and we say to the Overseer, our voice must be heard, our message must be accepted. A reasonable demand, I guess. So this is the city hall, where imperial officials manage all domestic and economic matters of Anisot. I am at the magistrate's office right now, and I stand before me, Elverman. Oh, his face bears the sharp, proud features so common along the old aristocracy. He is the noble of a sort, obviously. Oh yes, Sir Judge. You are from the Brante family, I believe. I appreciate your prompt arrival. I would rather not waste your time and get right down to business. The matter for which I called you here is urgent indeed. You are judging a case against that newspaper by the last quorum, are you not? I've had a torrent of complaints against it from the most venerable members of the quorum. They say my Egmont has insulted Caius Tempest, our overseer and an Archneum from the Emperor's own great dynasty. And I say they're absolutely right. The Empire gave those uppity commoners a hand in managing the province's very well-being, which is already a violation of the lowly lot. But no, that wasn't enough for them, it seems. You've earned the mantle only recently, Sir Brante, but you must realize that this is an affront to the honor of the entire nobility. I expect you to do your duty as a judge and immediately find a pretext for shutting down the pathetic gazette. Elborn, your prefect, might think otherwise. However, Sir Brante, if you exercise enough wisdom and cunning, I am certain you will realize which position is most beneficial to you. With your youth and potential, it will do you good to have powerful friends on your side. I am sure you will reach the only appropriate and just verdict when closing this case, and I hope you will be duly judicial. I can't pronounce this word, sorry, Elverman. For now, farewell. Okay, actually, Sir Elverman is right in one regard. My word is all it will take to shut the Lesser Quorum newspaper, because I don't even need a reason. I'm a nobleman, and these guys are commoners, so one snap of my fingers, it's done. But there was no breach of law. Like, his newspaper, Egmont's newspaper didn't really insult Gaius Tempest. Like, he voiced a reasonable demand. Interesting. Father learns that the case has been assigned to me. He visits me and offers some advice. You are in quite a predicament now, son. If you try to appease one party, the other will be furious. Wouldn't you rather see if there's any way to make peace between them? We could host a party at our estate and invite both Mayor Egmont and the noble elders from the quorum. That's a brilliant idea, actually. My father is very wise. He offers a very smart, very balanced decision. If you are successful at diffusing the quarrel, no one would object if you decide to legitimize the Quorum Gazette. Even Elverman won't be against it, if the nobles stop complaining. Oh, Carlo Foggraben. Nice to meet you. Not. I hear you've been ordered to deal with that newspaper run by wealthy commoners. It's a complicated case indeed, if you ask me. Work like that deserves to be rewarded. You are quite close with Prefect Unborn, are you not? Almost related, as it were. What if you were to shut down the paper and seize the printing press? All it would take is Sir Prefect's signature, and my friends among the quorum nobles, why, they could use a gazette of their own. I would be delighted to help you put that printing press in good hands. Just think of it. You would shut down a subversive periodical and help our esteemed nobles spread their message, all while earning a lucrative reward for your efforts. It's quite a couple, really. Everyone wins. Do think on it, Brante. Okay, so what Foggraben offers is basically to steal the printing press using the law, but still it's a basic robbery. And we can actually do this because our scheming is good enough and Elbor trusts us enough. But he will actually stop trust us after we do this because it's a shitty thing to do. Okay, we can shut down the gazette, do not shut down the gazette, or we can legitimize the gazette. Well, I think the only sensible thing to do is to legitimize the gazette. We are gonna spend a point of our wealth because we have to host a party, but overall, that's the best decision. Improves our career, improves our justice, and we gain some special destiny thing. We will know about it a second later. Nice. Okay, I spent several days scheduling audiences, exchanging greetings, and presenting invitations to the senior nobles of Anisot. I have to pull all the strings I have and master all my knowledge of Anisot high society. and spend some family funds, of course. Okay, both the nobles and the commoners from the lesser quorum have gathered together at my family estate. Our house is very hospitable. Like we had one reception, then we gave the jewels to nobles, and now we have a second reception. Like we are very hospitable family. It's nice. Mayor Egmont has accepted my invitation as well. That's good. Okay. So dear guests, noble sirs and gentlemen, and our wealthy friends of common estate. Mm, Look, I'm not that big of a public speaker. Let me just say it the way it is, clearly and plainly. I am a judge handling the case of a quorum gazette. This periodical is a most useful initiative. It is good to hear the voices of our esteemed citizens and spread it all over Anisot, basically. But only, and I repeat only, if the entirety of a lesser quorum shows support for the Quorum Gazette, and only if the Gazette represents the opinions of all its members, including commoners and nobles alike. Okay, so my words are met with a flurry of resentful shouting, disputing voices. People start to argue. Mayor Eggman takes his turn to speak. I do say there is some truth in what you're saying, Sir Brante. We did begin the Gazette without asking the noble source for their opinion. Still, if they let us have our articles printed, I suppose I'll agree to publish their opinions as well. I think that's a sensible thing to do. Let all estates speak for themselves, and let's establish a true freedom of press, a true freedom of speech in our beloved city. That's the right thing to do. Okay, some nobles reject sharing a periodical with the lowborn. More obstinate commoners of the quorum insist we already have the right to publish the gazette on their own. Well, actually, you do not. If I do not legitimize this gazette here and now, it's gonna be shut down. So don't be so petulant, guys. Okay, it takes me no small amount of time and negotiation to bring both sides to an agreement. It's settled then. As the owner of a Quorum Gazette, I pronounce it the official and legitimate newsletter of a lesser quorum, and the noble source are invited to publish their articles on the state of affairs in our province. Nice. Industrialists and merchants surround me and shower me with praise as a skillful negotiator. Tonight I defended more than a newspaper. I stood up for the entire common estate of the province. True, because this newspaper represents the whole common estate of Magra. Like, it speaks for them. And nice, nice. Okay, once matters are settled, father pats me on the shoulder. Excellent work, son. You chose the path of justice while staying on the good side with a powerful nobility. Even Magistrate Elverman won't hold this against you. Your career at the prefecture will surely flourish. Let's just hope your notoriety as a protector of a common folk won't harm you in future. The night is over, the esteemed guests leave the Brante estate. Okay, I never thought the affairs of the entire province would be one day decided to win these familiar walls. Okay, our career and justice both improve. Nice. Our wealth drops a little bit. Our willpower drains a little bit. Oh, a special event. Let's see. Protector of the people. The people of Anizot know and praise me as a defender of the common people's rights. Oh, that's a very beautiful achievement, actually. Like, I am known as a just and benevolent judge, and my resume confirms it. On two cases, I sided with the commoners, I sided with the imperial law, and I protected common people. Nice, nice. It's good to be a corrupt protector of the people who takes bribes. The call of the ancestors. Okay, I think that's gonna be the last scene of our session. It's a very interesting scene, I think, and it's a good way to end this episode of our story. Today is a big day for the Brante family. The day our family line started. Oh, I see. The day when we remember all our ancestors. Tonight, everyone who bears the name Brante must descend into the family crypt to keep vigil by the tombs. This is the time to surrender ourselves to our ancestors and hear their will. Creepy, but also fascinating. The entire family prepares for the event in silence. Stefan has been choosing his dress since morning, praying anxiously under his breath all the while. The heir has a special place in the family vigil. Even Mara is planning to go with us, but father tries to talk her out of it. Did I beg of you stay home? You are far too weak for an all-night vigil in the crypt. Gloria stays with Mama, and Gloria points out that the late Sir Gregor would only be enraged to see Mother there. Yeah, imagine. Okay. At that moment, our attention is drawn to a noise in the foyer. Nathan staggers through the door, stumbling over his own feet. He reeks of cheap wine and filth. Oh my god, my little brother is a drunkard. Oh, no, 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 no. Little brother, what happened to you? I'm not... Well, am I? Oh. Nathan almost falls into Mother's and Gloria's arms. Distressed, they fuss over him. Stefan eyes his youngest brother coldly. I expected nothing more of you, Nathan. Why even speak of duty to your family when you can't even manage to live by the commoner's lot? Go lie down in the pantry and stay out of our sight. Father, Bran, it's time. Let's go. Oh, I pity Nathan so much. I think he needs help. He's in trouble. He needs help. Maybe even professional medical help if we have any in the Blessed Arcanian Empire. Oh my god. Oh, the twins. Nonetheless, we descend into the family crypt. I cannot help but remember paying my last respects to my grandfather 9 years ago. We light the lamps. We take our places around the crypt and kneel. The all-night vigil has begun. At first, our ancestors remain silent. Each of us is left with their own thoughts. Then a low murmur passes around me. The shadows in the corners of the room deepen. The voices grow stronger. These are the ancestors of Gregor Brante, long forgotten commoners whom I never knew. They are trying to talk to me. They are pleading for something, demanding it of you, calling out to me, screaming. And then we hear that painfully familiar, deep, imperious voice echo from the far end of the chamber. The specters of the nobles are more powerful in the hereafter than the specters of the commoners. This is why blood tides are so important. Like, every soul can go to the peak of a shining pillar, but if we are talking about these mystical events and blood tides and such, then noble specters, noble shades are more powerful. It's been a long time since I've seen you all. I hope you bear good tidings. All this time I've been waiting for you to fulfill my mission. Remember, as long as I'm in your blood, I will give you no peace. I did not have my family ennobled just to see our line cut short. Our blood tide must join the grand flow of the empire, and then each of my descendants will inherit nobility from ever and forever and ever. As scared as he is, Bran sees the truth in grandfather's words. We should accomplish this. We should be ennobled to provide a prosperous future for our descendants. Such is our duty. But I do not see any of you before my tomb. Where are you hiding? Where is the head of our family, the man who will speak to me? Where is the man who will heed my will? Father rises from his knees and makes his way toward grandfather's stone tomb. But Stefan suddenly pushes him out of the way. What? Father takes an indignant step forward, but Stefan firmly bars the way. Stop it, Stefan. You are my heir, but you are not the head of this family. Father, it is not you that Sir Gregor is addressing. Earning the nobility of the sword is my duty to him. He has long forsaken any hope of seeing you achieve it. Fuck! Stefan, come on! You must understand that I am the one who will fulfill that duty. Stefan does not let him pass. Father breathes heavily in anger. I can all but feel the frantic beating of both their hearts resonating somewhere within me. Even the restless voices of our ancestors have grown hushed, waiting for the outcome of this confrontation. Okay, what can we do? We can side with Favor and basically push Stefan aside and say that Robert Brante remains the head of the family. We can support Stefan's superiority and declare that the eldest brother has earned the right to speak to the ancestors. Or we can step forward ourselves because we are part of Blood Tide and we are a nobleman. We are entitled to speak to our ancestor. Okay, I don't like the idea of supporting Stefan's superiority. Like, what superiority? He just acts like an arrogant shithead. Like, he shows some respect to your old man, Stefan. What the fuck? However, if I step forward myself, I will be no better than Stefan. I'm not that arrogant or that entitled. I'm not even the family heir. Stefan is. So, and besides, my love for Favre, once again, like I love him too much to disappoint me and to side against him. So siding with Favre it is. I block Stefan's way. Step back, brother. The head of our family is still, and will be for some time, our father Robert Brante. Have you forgotten that it's part of the noble lot to acknowledge and honor seniority? Our father is the man who must hear and accept our ancestors' will, and we must listen in silence. Stefan tries to maintain his composure, but even in the dark, I can see his face twitch. Oh my god, this guy is losing it. Brother, you don't understand. I'm not defying father's seniority, but I am the man who bears this duty to our grandfather. I cannot remain a mere witness while the future of our blood tide runs through our fingers. Stefan, it is our common duty, our collective duty to respect our ancestors' wishes, but whether you want it to or not, you will give way to the head of the family. I push him to one side. Father catches his breath and approaches grandfather's stop. So, it's you, Robert. Have you come to disappoint me yet again? Stefan is right. I have not put my hopes in you for quite some time. If anyone will lead the Brante family to glory, it will be my grandson. Stefan whispers something to himself. I am doing my utmost, Father. We are closer to becoming nobles of the sort than ever before. The overseer looks upon us with favor. Just a couple more years and your dream will come true. This must be your dream too, Robert, but you still cater to your foundlings, Lydia and Gloria, risking a permanent blemish upon the Brante name. My name! Oh, thank God. Grandfather sounded far too reasonably to this point. I started to doubt whether it's really him, but now I see he is the same bigoted, snobbish shithead he always was. Hello, grandfather. Nice to meet you again. Dead though I may be, my will lives on. Heed it at last. Get rid of that troll of glory and devote yourself to your true family. Otherwise, you will lead our family to shame and ruin. Father hesitates. No, Father. This is impossible. Even if I must defy your will. I am responsible for Gloria. We all are, I guess. We are family. My honor and my conscience will not allow me to do what you demand. You must accept this or keep on fighting me for all eternity. The voice of Gregor Brante fades away, but then his voice suddenly booms from the other side of the crypt. Stefan, you are the heir of this family. Your duty by blood is to earn us a place in eternity. Do not take after your spineless father. Do what must be done. Cleanse our family of wickedness. Stefan is shivering. But Gloria, I can. I will do my duty to my family, Sir Gregor. Whatever the price, I will pay it. The noble lot is hard, guys. Like, I understand where grandfather is coming from. Like he is very concerned, even in death, about his dream, about us becoming ennobled by the sword. And I see where he's coming from. Bran sees where he's coming from, but he demands it so cruelly. He asks us to basically throw Gloria away. We shouldn't do that. I think like we should find some other way. And I'm really concerned about Stefan. Like he seems too beholden to grandfather. I'm really concerned about him. I see tears glistening on Stefan's face. Father clasps his arms firmly around me. I feel him let out a sign of sorrow and relief. The vigil is over. We supported our father when he needed it. We defended his honor against Stefan's arrogance. And our unity grows higher and closer to absolute harmony. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, guys, I think we should. Okay, another political things happening. Egmont making his speeches about commoners' rights. Father Leonard, the head of New Faith, making speeches about how New Faith is good and lots are bad. Very interesting, but I think that's a great way to end this episode, this chapter. And I really hope to see you next time as we continue the most fascinating part of Bran Brante's life. See you later. Take care.